Hello everyone and welcome back to LM Simulation here on YouTube. So, we're back. It is Train Sim World 4 is the order of call this week. And we're looking into something that is recently released, not brand new, recently released, and something that I really wanted to cover on the channel, and I'm really pleased that this is my opportunity to do so. So without further ado, welcome to the Gospel Oak to Barking line, now known as the Suffragette Line. However, it was originally known, and it is known by everyone these days, as the Goblin line. That's one of those sort of words that mixes two different words together. I'm not an English expert, you'll be able to tell me what that is. Anyway, jumping in, this is a really, really good bit of DLC because unlike the version in Train Sim Classic, if you ever played that, this version contains the Class 710 and is bang up to date, and as you can see, also contains Barking Riverside, which is the brand new station, say brand new, maybe a couple of years old station that has been built to the east end of Barking at a new sort of industrial area that's been sort of rejuvenated. So there's going to be housing and basically a whole new village is being built there. So that's kind of why Barking Riverside was kind of put there. There is another station that is going to be built in the Ripple Lane area. I can't exactly remember what it's called. I think it's called Renwick Road or something like that. That is in the plan on the Gospel Oak to Barking line, i.e. it's between Barking and Barking Riverside. There's no stations currently there at the moment, and there isn't any stations in this version of the game. However, the sort of planning application and everything's been submitted, and it looks like they might be going ahead with the station at some point. Just don't exactly know when. But Renwick Road will be a brand new station built in the Ripple Lane area, and I'll show you that when we get to it. We're going to start off at Gospel Oak, which is where the original route in Train Sim Classic originated. And we're going to go all the way to Barking Riverside, where the new route in Train Sim World goes. But first of all, let's jump in and have a look at the Class 710. So let's jump in. I think we're going to work to Juliet 59 today. I know I haven't completed the 710. Don't ask me again. It's very simple. I've driven it a million times. It is probably one of my better DLCs that has been released for this game. Anyway, so let's jump in and have a look. So we're here at Gospel Oak on a lovely day, as you can see. Look at the weather, fantastic. I have just tweaked my INI file. So that's a term that I never thought I'd ever use, but yes, I have tweaked my INI file. We're also going to be late because there's going to be a lot of sort of showing you around the cabs and the interior system and everything like that. I think the first thing that we should do is probably get the windows open because it's a nice sunny day. Unlike it is outside at the moment, it is dreadful. Has been pretty much all the time. Anyway, so let's have a look. This is the Class 710 for Train Sim World 4. I think it looks fantastic and it adds a whole new depth to the game. You've also got working AI, as you can see over there. So you've got AI that goes between, I think that's between Stratford and sort of over to Clapham Junction. And Richmond, which is on that line at the moment, that's operated by 710s as well. I don't know if it is in real life. It might be 378 still in real life. I need to be corrected on that, but this is definitely 710s, this route here. Anyway, so let's have a quick look around. Before I get started, I'll just mention that I have tweaked my INI file. I mentioned that a few seconds ago. What that basically means is I've added some sort of graphical enhances and sort of made the game better by tweaking, sort of putting some tweaks in. There are links online. If you go to Train Sim, sort of like Train Sim Dev, places like that, you can get sort of links to sort of people who have tweaked their INI files to make the game look better. I think the game looks far better now than it did previously, and all I've done is I've tweaked the INI file. So it's a really, really good sort of thing that you can do. If you're a bit more technical, definitely. If you're not, don't worry about it. You know, the game's got plenty of ways you can tweak graphics in the game anyway. So, jumping in, this video is going to be about an hour long in total, probably a little bit less, but this is Gospel Oak. Looking around, we've got some lovely people reading books, and there's a bloke there who's doing some stuff for Dovetail Games, isn't he? I think he's hacking the game. There you go. That's what we like to see. And we've got a nice guy over here. He's going to make me a nice cup of coffee. For Yeah, let's have a look. Oh, very nice. I like the sounds. We've got sounds of a coffee machine in work here, and also lots of different coffee drinks and stuff like that. You've also got, as usual, your information screen. If I turn this way, you might be able to see it a little bit better. Here you go. So this is the 13:24 to Barking Riverside. We are late, so I do apologise about that, but we are going to be late. As you can see, Gospel Oak here. You have got access to these platforms over here, and there are services that go between sort of Stratford and Willesden Junction high level, and then onwards to Clapham Junction and Richmond respectively. They've also got platform information screens, so for example if I just jog down here, you've got 13:26 to Stratford, you can see here, which should be arriving momentarily, and just as I said that, there it is, the 13:26 to Stratford. Rightio, so we'll just watch this one arrive and then we'll head back over to our train, have a look inside and see what it's all about. Let's touch in. There you go. We've touched in. Lovely. Made sure that we've done that correctly. I don't want to make any mistakes regarding touching in. Lovely. Very nice indeed. I can't fault the sounds. I think they're quite nice. I think the braking's a bit harsh, but I think the sounds are quite nice. But there you go, Kentish Town West on this service to Stratford. So let's head back over, if the AI will let us, over back to our train here. So this is our train here. We are a service that is onwards bound for. We're onwards bound for Barking Riverside, you see, all the way to Barking Riverside. I don't know whether any services still terminate in the original Barking, platform 1, if you remember where the trains used to terminate. But no, we'll just jump straight in, and it wants us to get the doors open. So what I'll do is I'll set the train up and we can kind of go from there. So no, I don't want to give up control, I think we're okay. So what I do first, because everything's all isolated, so I put my TPWS over to normal. AWS is on normal at the moment anyway. Your TPWS, I'll put that over to normal. Your Vigilance, I'll put that over to normal, and then that's us done. You sit in the seat. Now this, I got a bit confused when I first saw this blind. I thought, why the hell can't you pull the blind down? This is stupid. Just realised it's automatic. So all you've got to do is press down, and the sun blind comes down, all the way down to the bottom. Or you press up, and the sun blind goes back up again. Now I'm going to have it about there. That'll do. Yeah, that'll do for me. Right, so first things first, we'll key in, and there's different modes on this. So you've got shutdown, forward, secure, recovery, reverse. Now I'm not too au fait with the 710 and the Aventra series as a whole. I know that secure is effectively neutral. Recovery is not a mode that you typically use unless you're in quite a disastrous situation, let's say. And forward and reverse are pretty normal. Shutdown's obviously what you put it in when you're not using the train. So we'll move it over to secure, which will activate your AWS.
TPWS and AWS operational.
And then if we press the DRA in, we should get a... do we get a DRA message? I can't quite remember. No, we don't. Right, I was hoping we'd kind of get a nice DRA message saying, driver, you have reset the DRA. Please check the signal, but maybe not. You have got a whole sort of DMI screen here. You can change things, open doors, do this, that and another. At the moment it wants us to open the doors, so we'll get those doors open at the moment. I'll go back to our main menu, station panel, driving panel, that's where we want to be on. So you can just leave it there really, you don't need to use that per se. It's very technological, this cab. It's all ready for ASDO and stuff like that, so there will be a time when you won't actually need a driver in here and it will be able to do everything itself. So we'll turn the tail lights to off for now and put our head day markers on day. That's good. You have got cab lights that go to full, half and back to normal. You've got notice board lights that go from low to high. We don't need them on. And the interior. Right, here we go. Don't really need much lighting on during the day, but you have got some nice notices here, like these sort of screens which change and this, that and another. The doors will close automatically because they are effectively, automatic doors. That's part of the Aventra series. You've got charging points here, which are in the real thing. I have been on these trains. Number 261 is the train that I've been on myself. As you can see, you've got the horizontal seating, so I think that's where people are just facing each other. So instead of just going forwards and backwards, I think you do have some forwards and backwards seating on these. Maybe not. No, I don't think so. I think it's all the same sort of thing. Anyway, but you have got these nice little screens here. Good service on all the lines and the London Underground lines. And if you go to the other side, it says the same thing as well. I like that some of the screens change and that you get a bit of more information. There you go. The screen's just changed to say it's 13:29 and we're late. So there you go. Let's jump back into the cab. I think that's enough showing us about. I will show you what happens with the doors are actually open. So there you go. That's the doors that are open. And then, no. Why would I want to spawn a new train? I'm in timetable mode. I was thinking I might be able to close the doors remotely, but I'm not too sure. I think they'll just close themselves eventually after a while. And then you've also got AI going back and forth all hours of the day. I like the weathering at the bottom here. I think that looks very nice. Nice little touch that they've done there. There you go. It's another service over to either Clapham or Richmond, one of the two. I do like the door animations on these. I think that's very, very nice indeed. I think it's a breath of fresh air to see such a well designed sort of there you go. Beautiful, lovely. Right, well, let's get on our way because I don't want to delay these passengers even more. I mean, if you have a look at the thing, it does say we're on time, but we're not. We're about 6 minutes delayed at the moment. So let's get these passengers on their way. Fairly sure they don't want to be delayed any further. So we'll put ourselves over to forward. And what I'll do is I'll have us outside the cab just so you can hear the sounds of us departing here from Gospel Oak. Here we go. Oh god, I've got to lock the doors, haven't I? Yeah, so the doors will close automatically. It's a bit confusing, sorry. But you have got to press door close interlock just to make sure that they are closed. And then we can get back to where we were and we can watch the train leave. There we go. It is quite fast accelerating, so be wary. And here's the horn. Look at that, and in next to no time we're already at 15 miles an hour, so we can chase back some time. I don't think we're going to make much time back because the timetable in this is very strict indeed. We'll have a train outside usually that's waiting to come in because it's quite a frequent service if I remember rightly. Yep, so we'll do all the stops all the way up to Barking Riverside. There are a few different scenarios you can do. It's it is a pretty limiting route. There is only so much you can do really. There you go. There's the service that's waiting to come in. Can't remember if it's a 15-minute service or a 10-minute service. It's a very frequent service, whatever it is. At the moment, the route just comes with the Class 710. There is no other sort of trains that come with it. If you've got other trains included, like Class 20s, I think there's rail tours and whatnot that are included. The Class 66, there's a few freight services you can run as well in the timetable mode, which is what we're doing at the moment. But mostly I like the 710 because if we ever got a Great Eastern Main Line, we could easily turn this into a Class 720. We've got opportunities to use it in other routes, for sure. I'm just trying to think who else have trains like this. I mean, C2C do. They've got their own version of 720s, I believe. So you know, you could have some 720s, I think, in Barking that wouldn't look too out of place. For example, I can now get all the way up to our max speed, even though we've only got 500 yards to go. And then because the brakes are so good on this, I have absolutely no worries about getting down to the appropriate speed to stop. There's the signal box at Upper Holloway. Now that signal box is quite special because if you guys remember a guy called PTG Rail, who made a lot of train simulation videos back in Train Sim Classic, and he's done a few in Train Sim World too. A bit of plugging here. He's actually now a signaller with Network Rail, so he's actually gone into the railway sort of world himself. and he actually works at that very signal box in real life. So there you go, a nice little hello to PCG Rail. Why is it not letting me open the doors on the left? That's bizarre. You can press that button, but you can't press that button. See, there's stuff I'm still learning about this bit of DLC, for sure. Anyway, so this is us here at Upper Holloway, and then that's the signal box there. He has made numerous posts that the signal box looks nothing like that in real life. I mean, that looks like something from the West Somerset Railway, doesn't it? I mean, it looks nothing like that in real life. It's a prefabricated box. He said he wishes it looked like that in real life, but sadly it doesn't. But that's the signal box at Upper Holloway. I'm not entirely sure how long it's going to be there for. For the interest of... oh, don't want to press that. For the interest of him keeping his job, I hope it's there for quite a while. I really do. But signal boxes are notorious for closing, especially this day and age. So anyway, that's us away from Upper Holloway. As you can see, this train has absolutely no issues with getting up to speed. We haven't got exactly long between stations. Most stations only have a maximum of a mile between them, so you're always kept on your toes. But there's no issue with getting up to the natural line speed, but you've just got to be wary. We have got a 30-mile-an-hour speed limit coming into place. So that's just going to come into place just around this corner. There we go. Lovely. Down to speed just in time. You can rely on this unit to be absolutely precise with its speeds. It is very, very good indeed. I really enjoy driving it. Plenty of AI, as you can see here, on this regular service on the Gospel Oak to Barking line. We've only done one station. We've already seen 2 trains, so that's good. It's a bit of a pity that we've got such a slow line speed in this area, but something else I can't really understand is the OLE. I thought the OLE on this line was very similar to that on the Great Western Railway, i.e. Fury and Fray Series 1 or Series 2 OLE. It was done around the same time, and it was completed using redundant assets from the Great Western Electrification project. But it doesn't look like that in this game for some reason. That's something that I worked in a previous life with some OLE sort of engineers. Oh, there we go. Nearly overrun there. And I've kind of come to understand how the OLE design sort of worked on the Great Western Railway. It was kind of like a jigsaw puzzle. Everything was kind of put into place, and it's not the nicest looking OLE, but it's a lot more modern, a lot sleeker than the type that you get on the East Coast Main Line and stuff like that. But this is not, I wouldn't say, 100% accurate representation of what the OLE looks like, which I would say is slightly bizarre because they've got assets in the game of that OLE designed from the Great Western Railway, Great Western Express route, which desperately needs extending and desperately needs bringing up to date. I have much route proposals out there for Dovetail Games, but one of them for sure is to electrify the Great Western Express and get it all the way up to Reading with electrification and extend the route all the way to Didcot and Oxford, you know, so that at least we can actually have a decent drive when we get out of London. I mean, Reading's nowhere. You can get to Reading, and on a 387 you can get to Reading in 25 minutes, you know, 30 minutes on a non-stop. It's not a very long route. But we know that Trains World is not where you're going to find the longest routes in the world. It's just where you're going to find some of the most pleasant to drive is probably the best way to describe it. We're still in this 30-mile-an-hour speed limit, which is a bit sad. Can't remember if that's the line. That might be the line. Oh, there's a freight train there. Hello. Interesting. Yeah, it might be the line that goes up to Finsbury Park, I believe. Can't quite remember this. Is it Haringey, the station? It comes up just directly behind, just up there, because that's the East Coast Main Line there, I believe. Just going under the East Coast Main Line, out of King's Cross, sorry, King's Cross. So yeah, that's another route proposal I've got for Dovetail Games. King's Cross to Peterborough would be lovely to see. We've got 387s in the game already, so we can do that. We've got 700s, so we can do that. We've got IEPs, we've got LNER Azumas, we can do that. You know, the route just needs the route being done. That's really it. Maybe a couple of 365s would be nice to add an extra incentive for those, but hey ho. I love the addition of graffiti on this route. It really brings some of the stations to life for sure. I'll have a look at the PIS screen while we're stopped here, just to see how late we really are. There we go, I think that's about right. So if I go into the number 8 view, let's have a look how late we are. 13:33, 13:39, so we're a little bit late. I mean, we were never going to be on time, unfortunately. Timetable mode just doesn't allow for that. But this is 262. As I say, the one I went on was 261, so we're only one away. Let's get on our way. We'll watch us depart from down here. Looks like they're extending the platforms here by the looks of it at this station. Won't take us long to get up to speed. So if I have a look at the, oh, there we go. If I have a look at the number 9 menu, I can kind of show you the route map. So you start off here. This is a very busy Gospel Oak, as you can see. You've got a train there waiting to go to Barking Riverside, Stratford train, and at Clapham Junction or Richmond. We've also got another train here. It's already on its way back to Barking Riverside, so it's a very frequent service. There's that freight train there that somehow has collapsed and here at Haringey, trying to join the East Coast Main Line. I believe this line that we're going to go over here is something, I'm not entirely sure. I think it's something to do with the line out of London Liverpool Street. So there's two sort of, the line diverges, I believe, after you leave London Liverpool Street. You can either go left towards a route that I'm not too au fait with, but I think it's the wagon route, so the West Anglia Great Northern route. So that'll be the route basically that goes up to, I think is it Tottenham Hale, somewhere like that. I'm just trying to think now because it's putting my thinking cap on. It does go up to, that's the line. Is this the line here? No, this is a road. There you go. I think Tottenham Hale's one of the stations. Cheshire, that sort of area. Seven Sisters, that rings a big bell in my head, definitely. And then I think it goes outwards to Stansted Airport and places like that, and eventually up to Cambridge. So there you go, that's that line. I'd love to see that in the game for sure, because that, I think, it's got Gatwick Stansted Express units on it, and Stansted Express units, as far as I'm aware, are Class 745s. And I'd love to see a 745 in this game. But it's taken us this long to get a 720, so you never know. Lovely bit of scenery down there on the road. Wonderful. Hello, driver. Driving a bit cautiously because I'm not entirely sure. There we go. Right, if I show you this OLE sort of portal here, it's been put up. You can kind of see this is a very similar design. This is Series 2 Fear and Fray design. The OLE design that was used on the Great Western Railway was Series 3 or Series 1, I can't quite remember. But it was basically an evolution of this design, effectively. And this OLE sort of the OLE sort of portal here, the stanchions that it's sitting on, that is exactly the design of the Great Western Railway. I mean, if you go down anywhere on the Great Western Railway, Reading or anywhere, this is the sort of design that you'll see. It's this sort of weird Meccano sort of set design. which a lot of people complained about because they thought it looked ugly. I think it looked kind of... I quite like it. It does sound a bit weird, but I have a kind of weird sort of understanding for that sort of thing. I think you've got to have that kind of persuasion in life, but hey ho. So onwards we go. Oh, there's a shed if we slow down enough. I think there was a shed, if I remember rightly. Yeah, there is a shed coming up to a red signal. Now, obviously, I encourage you not to do this. If you're ever driving trains in real life, you'd probably get sacked immediately for stopping randomly just to have a look at a shed. But yeah, you've got a nice bit of AI. I just want to show off the AI here because you have got a bit of a shed that's, that should appear momentarily. I say momentarily. You're meant to appear. Has it stopped? Yeah, of course it has. Yeah, there must be something coming down our line because it stopped. Anyway, let's have a quick gander at this shed that's just appeared. Oh, very nice. So, yeah, what you've got here is you've got 66046 on a red signal. And you've got some sort of container flats, empty container flats, sort of being transferred behind EWS container flats. Nice to see. Nice to see an EWS shed on the route, that's for sure. Let's get a nice little screenshot and let's get on our way before we delay the train even more. I was kind of hoping he was going to sort of appear, but he didn't, unfortunately. So I'm not entirely sure where that line goes. Oh, there's another shed there. Oh, there's a shed behind us. There's a shed in front of us. Hello, shed. Sheds galore, really is. Yeah, so if anyone can tell me where that line goes, I'd love to know, because that's not part of... I don't know if there's any trains that go from sort of Crouch Hill down to there, or anywhere like that. I'm not entirely aware of that, to be honest, but no, I'd love to know where that line goes, and it'd be nice to see if we can have that in the game. That'd be very good indeed. Right, we've got a 20-mile-an-hour speed limit coming up as we go over what I can only assume is a bridge of some kind. There's another line we've just gone over. Then when we depart the next station, which is Black Horse Road, we'll have a sort of an outside departure as we follow the train. We're speeding quite a lot. So there we go, nice crossing the bridge here. I wish the weather was like this today, it'd be delightful, it really would. Then we'll get ourselves up to 45 miles an hour. Oh no. God, it takes a while, doesn't it? So you can get yourself all the way up to 45 miles an hour before we even get into Black Horse Road. This thing's acceleration is insane, but the route is just stunning. I mean, absolutely stunning. It really is. I must admit, it is definitely in my top 5 Dovetail Games routes. The revitalised West Somerset Railway is now on that list for sure. That's certainly something I want to feature in the game some more. We've also had a release at the same time, which I'll speak about now. I think around the same time we had a release of the 5 Circle. Unfortunately, unlike the Dovetail Games version that came out in Train Sim Classic, the version that's come out in Train Sim World... Oh, just overshot there a bit. The one that's come out in Train Sim World does not feature the Class 68. Instead, it features the Class 170. It will be featuring the Class 158 once that's done. But some very clever people over at the Train Sim DLC websites have managed to put together a timetable mode involving the HST and the LNER Azuma, as well as a version of the Lumo 803 that's now in the game, which they've done, which looks incredible. So I'm going to be featuring the vanilla version, and then eventually we'll feature sort of that additional DLC. So let's close the doors. Just love the sounds of these trains. Yeah, and then the brakes releasing, just like they do in real life. Seems to take a while between applying the power and actually getting the power there, if you see what I mean. I love that you can have a cheeky look inside and at me. Hello, that's me. Plenty of people on our train today, aren't there? Yep, enjoying the nice sunny weather out in London. That's something that I'll be doing later this month. By the time this video comes out, by the way, this will be the June video, because I'm only doing it bi-monthly at the moment, because I've got a severe problem with trying to film videos because of my sort of current disposition, if you see what I mean. That's probably the best way to describe it. So I'm only releasing videos bi-monthly at the moment. So I had a video that came out at the end of April. I hope you guys enjoyed that. That had to be a drive time video, I had no other choice. This, I wanted to feature this ever since I got it, and it will be June by the time this comes out, but I am recording this in sort of mid-May. At the end of May, I will have actually gone down and been on one of these all the way to Barking Riverside, which is a trip that I've been wanting to do for quite a long time. So, because I have been on one of these before when they first entered service. I actually went on a 378 on this line, which is very rare, because the originally what was in service on this line when the line was originally a thing, Gospel Oak to Barking was serviced by 172s. So these were little 2-car versions of 170s in full London Overground branding. They were fantastic. I think they were one of the only trains of London Overground to feature forwards and backwards sort of seating, if you see what I mean. So they were really, really nice. So they went up and down the line. And now that we've got the 170 in the game, thanks to the 5 Circle DLC, I will be creating a scenario that's going to feature the 170 in it. Although I think you'd have to use the formation designer, because I think it's standard. It's a 3-car unit, and they didn't use 3-car units on this line. They only used 2-car units, as far as I was aware. So. Hello? So yeah, 170 you just plod up and down the line. I did numerous goes in the 170s. Then when the line got first electrified, before the 710s had entered service, they were still in testing at the time. They actually used 378s, but I think they shortened them to 4 coaches instead of 5. So effectively 378s were the electric trains that operated across the entire sort of network for London Overground Limited, Laurel. And they were originally delivered as 4-car units, and then they were extended to 5-car units many, many years ago, back in like 2016, 2015. They extended them all to 5-car trains, and they made a big song and dance about them now being 5 coaches. And then, when they took them back onto the Goblin line, because the Goblin line doesn't have the platform lengths to accommodate 5-coach trains, they then had to shorten them before the 710s got into service to 4 coaches. So a load of 378s were designated Goblin 378s, and effectively they were shortened back to 4 coaches. So they went 4 coach, 5 coach, back to 4 coach again. So they kind of changed, quite similar to what's happened with the 458s on South Western Railway. If anyone's keeping up to date with what's happening there, the 458s, which were originally 460s and capable of 100 miles an hour, were then made into suburban trains as 458s for South Western Railway, South West Trains, and they were 10-coach trains, so you had 2 5-coach trains coupled together. Some of them had X460s, some of them had new design coaches. And now, And as part of that, they reduced the maximum speed to 75, and now they've taken them all up to Alstom in Widnes again, and now they're shortening them to 4-coach trains. I'm trying to get my head around this. It's not exactly the clearest situation in the world, that's for sure. But they shortened them down to 4-coach trains, but they have increased the top speed again to 100 miles an hour. So they've gone from being 10-coach trains, I think they were 10-coach trains, I can't quite remember, whatever they were for 460s on Gatwick Express, to 10-coach trains with only a maximum speed of 75 miles an hour for the suburban routes, and now they've gone to 8-coach trains, which are 2 4-coach trains coupled together, effectively 4-coach units each, with a maximum speed of 100 miles an hour. So it is quite confusing, and that's kind of what ended up happening for the 378. So they went on this line shortly, and then the 710s took over. And when I went on this route, they were only operating between Gospel Oak and Barking, because the Barking Riverside extension hadn't opened yet. And I still fundamentally believe that they shouldn't have opened the Barking Riverside extension without Brentwick Road being part of the plan. I don't understand why they were happy to open a line that technically still has another station that can be put on it. I can only assume that Barking Riverside was approved and being built far before Renwick Road was even sort of approved by the local council. It's a complicated project, but basically they've future-proofed the line, so they've created the space. There is space available at Rickwell Lane in the Renwick Road area, and I will showcase that once we get to that side of the line, and we'll be able to then sort of focus on that. So this is Leytonstone High Road. There is a sort of a route map available for this route if that's sort of what takes your fancy. It will showcase that we're getting there, I think is probably the term. We're not there yet. We're still on the main sort of stretch between Gospel Oak and Barking, so this is part of the original line still, albeit now electrified. I don't know why it wasn't electrified in the first place. I think it's a bit silly that it wasn't electrified in the first place. See, some stations I think I'm doing really well with the stop patterns, but other stations I genuinely think I'm doing awful. I think these stations up here where you're not doing 100 miles an hour all the time, I think it's far easier for sure. Yeah, so let's show you kind of like a route map of where we are now. It'll let me. Here we go. Right, here we go. Leytonstone High Road, Wanstead Park for the Elizabeth line at Forest Gate, Woodgrange Park, but there's no real interchange, Barking and Barking Riverside. So we've not actually got that far to go. So our next stop is Wanstead Park. And as you can see here, we've just crossed over another railway line. I wouldn't even be able to imagine where the hell this is, or what line this is. Maybe it could be an underground line, who knows? Because a lot of them go overground at some point. But we do cross over a hell of a lot of lines. I wouldn't be able to tell you what all of them are. My railway geography around the UK is generally fine, but when it gets to London, it's like Takeshi's Castle when it comes to kind of like train tracks. They kind of go left, right, and then, you know, they kind of overlap each other at millions of different points, and I would not even hazard a guess to know which railway line that is. So I have got a track map book that I got for my birthday last year. I should probably have a better look at the London side of that. So I've studied the outer London side of that because it's far easier, but the London side of that's not so easy. I mean, if you want a high-speed, fast, blitzing route, this is not your route. But if you want a nice suburban, kind of industrial feel, modern era route, this is definitely your route. And I would say this is a route review. This series I mark it as route reviews. They are route reviews because I am reviewing the routes. However, this is more of a let's play at the the same time, because I'm actually enjoying this route. A lot of routes I just review for the sake of reviewing them. I have no interest in playing them afterwards, and I probably wouldn't play them afterwards. Long Island Railroad is probably a good example. They've just introduced an extension to the Long Island Railroad that's just been released by Dovetail Games. And yes, I'd like to get it, but I probably wouldn't play it after the first time. I haven't played the original Long Island Railroad after the first time, so... Oh my god, there's a person on the track! What are we doing? Jeez, this game needs... This game needs help. That was scary. That really was. Holy moly. This game needs help. That should not be allowed. Because... Imagine if you were a real train driver and that's actually happened in real life, and you're just playing this game for fun years later, and suddenly it happens in the game. Really needs fixing that. I'm not a good advocate for that whatsoever. Anyway, there you go. This is Gospel Oak Train, Maidstone High Road, the next stop there. Is he going to leave? No? You're just going to stand there, or... Your doors are shut, mate. Hello? There we go, he's woken up. I think that driver just fell asleep. Some of the AI are a bit funny in this game as well. Well, needless to say, this is not the first Dovetail Games route with faulty AI, or unrealistic AI. Oh. So we're now sort of merging over to Woodgrange Park, which is where the line from, I mean, there you go, that's it. That's the Great Eastern Main Line down there out of London Liverpool Street over to Shenfield, Ilford and places like that. Sorry, I'm actually dying, I think. Slowly. I think we all are, really, but Woodgrange Park is the first station on the sort of line that merges, as you can see there. So that's the line from Stratford Regional. Oh, there's a shed. We can't get enough sheds on this route today, can we? Is he stopped? Oh, I think he stopped. Very nice. It's an intermodal. Oh, it's the, there you go, it's the thingy, railhead treatment train shed. And we've overshot again. Off he goes. I need to get some sort of, I know there's modifications you can get to get branding on these containers. I desperately need to look into that, because at the moment the only branding that we get is the one containers, which is nice to see, but anyway, so that's just Woodgrange Park. All we've got now is Barking and Barking Riverside. So this is where the route starts to get quite special, if you see what I mean. Oh, Hapag Lloyd. We do get some, so you get Hapag Lloyd, Hamburg, Sud, and one, obviously, because they got the branding for that. Just wish we actually would have a Freightliner 66 in the game. I know we had one that came with something to do with Glasgow to Edinburgh or whatever. There was something was released as part of that, which contained 66587, which is the Pink Panther one, but that's not in Freightliner branding. That's in one branding. I know it's a Freightliner logo, but it's in one branding. So I don't think anyone's actually got the licensing to use the Genesee and Wyoming Freightliner branding at the moment. So at the moment, all we get is EWS, DB, and more EWS. So lots of plain-looking sheds, unless you go to the Creators Club and download your own reskins. Anyway, so we're going to go over to Barking Platform 7, as you can see here. Got a bit of the depot here, which is East Ham Electric Multiple Unit Depot. This is Platform 1 at Barking, which is where we used to terminate, although we don't anymore. I've still got a question that I need to be answered. Do any trains actually use Platform 1 anymore, or is it just now completely redundant? If so, what are the plans for Platform 1 at Barking, for example? And here we go, that's the London Underground line there, it's the District line, I believe, the Hammersmith City and District line. And Circle, technically, I mean, they'll come into the same thing eventually, so... Oh, there's your driver safety device, because we haven't moved the power brake controller. That over there, that 25-mile-an-hour branch there, that's the branch for the original terminus. Now, I think they must use Platform 1 as and when there's engineering works on the line to Barking. Just wary that I don't want to put any power on, because I know there's A, a 30-mile-an-hour limit, and B, we're going to go downhill right now, so naturally our speed's going to increase, as it is doing so already. So all this after here is kind of new to anyone who's played Trains Sim Classic, for sure. We didn't actually have the Barking Riverside extension of Trains Sim Classic, and yes, we did have an extended sort of, we had Ripple Lane, and we actually had a decent portion of the whatever this is, the Showbury Nest line or whatever it is, that goes out this way. Fenchurch Street to Showbury Nest, that sort of thing. There's a pity there's no AI here. There needs to be underground trains, there needs to be sort of... I mean, you could put 3 720s here going to and from. We don't have 3 5.7s in the game, unfortunately, which is what they use on this line. They use 720s as well. They used to use 387s, so you could use the 387 as well. There's a lot of AI you could put in it, and it wouldn't really take that much. And I don't understand why Dovetail Games haven't done that. I think that's a bit of a... There are some negatives to this game, and I think that's definitely one of them. What's this? Class 357, there you go, 357, in case you want to drive the 357, which doesn't exist in the game, but it would be nice if it did. Anyway, so we're now onwards to Barking itself, Barking Riverside itself. And you'll be able to see the brand new sort of line that goes out to Barking Riverside. Once we get there, I'll give you my full opinion on the routes and the DLC, and yeah, we'll end the video there. There's another 710 coming in. I think this is the highest possible speed you can get up to here, between here and Barking Riverside on the entire route, so... Because this is a main line now, rather than... I wouldn't really call that the Goblin line a main line, so... So here we go. This is the line now. So you've got the line here, which comes in from Barking Riverside. So that's the up Riverside. This is the down river, the down main and Riverside kind of, but that's just the up Riverside. Obviously, that signal there is telling us we're diverging. Gosh, this train really does pick up speed quickly. That's for sure. You've also got the goods line there. So that's the up goods, I believe, that comes from sort of, you know, London Gateway, places like that, Ripple Lane. Obviously that line there that's just crossed over is to access the freight lines that go into Ripple Lane for freight trains that come along this route. And you've also got the up main line there, which comes from that sort of side of affairs. Just going to slow us down because we've got 50 then a 40. Renwick Road is in this area here, I've been told. This sort of area. I don't know exactly where, but it's in this sort of area here. It's before the bridge. which we're going to go on shortly. But this is where Renwick Road, sort of the proposed station, would be. Maybe even here, because look, I think there's some construction work going on here. So I think this sort of area here, it's literally right before the bridge. There's some nice wagons there. So yeah, they could build a station here, right in the middle here. Oh no, we need to slow down the speed him. And then immediately you go over this wonderful brand new built flyover. And even in this game it feels brand new. It feels like it only opened yesterday. It definitely feels fantastic. And this kind of circumvents all the line out there to sort of Shrewsbury-Ness, and there's a 66 down there, another 66. It's the maritime one. Hello. We'll have a look at that actually. Very nice indeed. And there's some stopboards that have fallen over. That's nice. And there's the London Yiwu train. That belongs here actually, to be honest, because that was named very close to here. So as you can see, this this viaduct is so photogenic. It is stunning. I really love it. I'd love to come around here with a drone and get some lovely videos of the 710s going up and down the viaducts. That'd be like a dream come true for me. It really would. It's a lovely location. Really, really nice, and I'm really jealous of those that have had the opportunity to go on it already. See, to me those look like red signals, but it says it's yellow, so I'm going to believe it. See, that did look red to me, but hey ho. Let's slow us down as we approach into Barking Riverside, our final station. You see a lot of work, a lot of construction work kind of going on in this area at the moment. Clearance work and building work here, there and everywhere. That's because this is an area for regeneration, if you see what I mean. It's being very commercially regenerized. Regenerated, or whatever you want to call it, to be honest. There we go, that's us into Barking Riverside. I think the station model for this station is one of the best I've ever seen in Train Sim World. I'm happy to say that. And my praise for this route does not stop there. It really doesn't. Anyway, so let's unlock the doors. That seems to secure. Hello. Radio, and I think with the weather outside, and it being very warm, it'd be wise to put the sun blind down, just so that we didn't have to worry about it getting too overly hot in the cab. But that being said, these trains have one of the best air conditioning I've ever known in a modern unit. Honestly, they're very, very good. Right, so let's continue and go back to our free row. Try and get out the cab. Let's put ourselves into tail lights on. So there we go. Wonderful. Right, so this is Barking Riverside. Let's go outside and have a look at our train. And this station as a whole is fantastic. Honestly, it's just stunning. It really is. The architecture, the design, everything about it is absolutely stunning. Anyway, what I'll do is I'll get myself sat in this end. So, that is the Goblin line from Gospel Oak to Barking, otherwise known as officially now the Suffragette Line. Now, thank God there's no branding in this to say that, because I think all this new naming of the London Overground lines is a bit overblown, to be honest. I prefer the Goblin line. but I'm not against it. I'm not against naming lines. I think it's quite special that we name lines and that we give lines identities and stuff like that. And I think that's definitely a positive to have on this line for sure. So, what do I think of this line as a whole? Well, if I'm going to call it out of 10, my end review is going to be, it is definitely, I'd say 8. It's up there as an 8. I'm not going to say it's 10 out of 10 because there's not enough AI at Barking. It's completely dead, and it doesn't deserve to be dead. Even if it had some London Underground trains that were ported from the Bakerloo line, if you have that as a layer, 387s that were ported from the route that goes out to London Commuter. I think if any of you remember that route, that's a while back in there. So yeah, it really deserves to have more life put into it. It's a bit dead in terms of AI. It's far better in AI than other routes have been more recently. I mean, we've had some really poor releases recently, but in terms of AI, that's where this is really falling down. I also think announcements would have been nice. Even some generic announcements, like pre-recorded. They didn't have to be official, so they could just be fake announcements, and then we could improve those as sort of modifications into the game. Some announcements would have been nice. That would make it a 10 out of 10. And for sure, a more enhanced route. So, for example, allowing us to go all the way down to Richmond, allowing us to go all the way down to Clapham Junction via Stratford and Willesden Junction. If you were able to make it a whole sort of network and call it the London Overground Network rather than the Suffragette Line, I think you would have been onto a winner. Okay, I would happily pay £30 for London Overground Network, Clapham Junction and Stratford Richmond to Stratford and Barking Riverside. I think we would have been onto a winner 100%. So yeah, really, what do I think of this? It's fantastic. I think the model of the Class 710s, as you can see here, is absolutely brilliant. I really enjoy seeing the 710 in action, and it is so photogenic. I mean, you can just take screenshots everywhere and it just looks stunning. So there you go, there's another one arriving. The station building here at Barking Riverside is absolutely incredible, and I actually want to go on it in real life. It's that special. So this route is actually encouraging me to do something outside of the world of Trains and World, and that just shows how brilliant this route is. So really high marks and a top praise to Dovetail Games for that, for sure. The fact that we can also use this in other routes, for example, Midland Main Line has Derby Litchurch Lane in it. Not very well done, let's be absolutely honest. There are some floating buildings and blah 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 blah. But these were built at Derby Litchurch Lane, so you can actually do a scenario where you can get a rail operations group 37, as they do in real life. You can drag one of these out of Litchurch Lane, go into Challiston, run round, and then drag it down to Leicester. So it's really special. It is really special that we've got the ability to use this in other routes as well. So it's much more. The model of the train, the model of the interior, the model of the routes, the stations, the PIS screens, yeah. I'd say it's well worth the money. And unlike I've ever said this before, I would say this is worth every penny. I wouldn't say wait until there's a sale on, because this is a must get. This is one of the best routes Dovetail Games has developed to date. The 710 is a wonderful piece of DLC. The route is so well detailed and modelled, and once you get all your INI sort of files modified, you can really make this game look stunning, as mine does. So yeah, well worth every penny. So in the description you're going to find a link to the base game, Trains and World 4. Well, by the time this comes out, Trains and World 5 might have come out, but who knows. Also, you'll have a link to the Class 710, and the Suffragette Line as a route. Let it be known that they both come together, so if you buy the Suffragette Line, you get the 710 thrown in for free, basically, so it's well worth the money. And then also, I'm going to try and find a link to the INI file modification sort of really know how to describe it, but the INI file modification sort of guide that I followed in order to get the route looking as good as this. So there you go. Anyway, so that is the Suffragette Line from Gospel Oak to Barking. I hope you've very much enjoyed this video, and from myself here at LM Simulation, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Have a wonderful rest of your day, a wonderful rest of your summer. It is the Olympics this year. We've got the Olympics coming up soon. We've got Wimbledon. We've got so much more coming up, so it's going to be a wonderful 2024 here. I'm so much looking forward to getting new content out to you as and when I can. So from me, myself at LM Simulation, from everyone here at LM Towers, have a wonderful rest of your summer, and I'll see you in the next video, which will be in 2 months' time now. So that'll be coming up to around August. So just look forward to that video for now, and have a wonderful summer in the meantime. All the best, guys. Do take care, and ta-ra!